Hi, and welcome to the webinar today, how to get more word of mouth leads for your accounting firm. We'll get started in just a minute. If you let me know where you're dialing in from, that would be awesome. I am talking to you from the South Island of New Zealand in a little town called Wanaka. Beautiful sunny day here today, quite cold, but I'd love to know where you are joining me from today. A bit of housekeeping. If you want to use the chat to let me know where you are, that'd be great. And you can use that to either ask me questions or the Q&A panel as we go along. I'll stick along at the end to do a Q&A, but yeah, feel free to ask me questions. And if it's relevant at that section, I will do my best to answer them as we go. Hopefully you can all see my screen. Let me know if you can't, and everything is coming through nice and clearly for you. But today I've got a really practical session for you. It's not going to take too long, but I think you're going to take away some really awesome templates and tools for getting more word of mouth. So let's get into it. Oh, one more thing. I'm recording the session, and we will send out that recording to all of you afterwards. All right, let's get into it. So 90% of firms' leads come from word of mouth referrals. And I'm sure that tallies up with what you find, but only 20% of firms ask for referrals. That's based on a research that we've done over the years, surveys of several hundred firms, and it always comes out like that. Now, I would actually say that word of mouth in itself is not marketing. I'm a marketer, and that's the kind of realm I work in. How you get word of mouth is obviously delivering a really good service, or nobody's going to refer you. But how you can turn that into marketing is turning it into a system. Marketing is about repeatable systems that get you more leads and get you more revenue. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. So, this all assumes, and I'm sure you do give a wonderful service for your clients. That's got to be in place for people to refer you. And if you do have that, I'm sure you get referrals anyway. But, as you would know, they can be sporadic, right? Like 1 month you might get 3, 1 month you might get none. So it's far from being a system. It's just about waiting for people to do that. So what I want to show you today is how you can flip that and really focus on turning that into a system that, you can do week in, week out to get more word of mouth leads. So what we're going to be covering today is getting more referrals, straight, nice old referrals. We're going to look at that. We're going to have a look at online reviews, which I look at as word of mouth at scale. And then the final thing we're going to look at is how to get client case studies and use ChatGPT to create those really quickly. And then I'll stick around at the end for a Q&A. Okay, so a little bit about me. My name is Matt Wilkinson. I am the founder and CEO of Bizink. I've been working with accountants and bookkeepers since 2010. And we worked in that time with over 2,000 firms. And, this word of mouth leads is something that's come up again and again. So I see that, marketing can be, if 90% of leads come from word of mouth, then that extra 10% can come from marketing. But what if we can make that pie a bit bigger? So it still might be that 90-10% split, or however that breaks down, but we can make that pie bigger by getting more referrals and obviously doing more marketing, which is outside of the scope of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so what we do at Bizink is help accountants and bookkeepers with the entire marketing journey. And we've come with this framework: plan, attract, engage, convert, and retain. We call that leads to loyalty. And it covers like the steps that, most firms are looking at in terms of their marketing funnel. Now, no one is doing all of those things at the same time really well. I've never met anyone who is. But, it's a goal to aspire to try and get all of those pieces of the machine working together. And in terms of word of mouth, what we talk about today, I think, the stage that's in is really that attract stage. It's about attracting leads. But word of mouth also helps in that engage through convert and retain stages as well. So, a referral or word of mouth can help move people along the buying journey. Somebody might be a bit on the fence, but if you can get, another client to recommend you, then that can help move them along. A word in a prospect's ear can convert them into a client. And also seeing customer feedback, whether that's on your website or your social media, that can actually work with existing clients. So we tend to think of, all of this word of mouth piece as for new clients, but existing clients like to see that. They like to see case studies, they like to see testimonials on social media, because it reinforces the idea that they've picked the right firm, that they've made a good choice. So let's get into the session today. And the first piece that I want to look at is referrals. So I'm interested to know, I'm going to launch a quick poll. Do you have a system for asking for referrals? And it could be a very simple system, but I'm interested to know if you've got a system for doing that. I'll just let people answer that. So three choices: yes, no, or not sure. A few more seconds to finish that off. All right, cool. I'm going to end that poll and share the results. So 25% of people have, well done. 75% don't. So let's start to have a look at this. And the funny thing is, I think even those of you who do have a system, some of these simple things could help. I was chatting to I'd say he's like one of the best marketers in New Zealand in terms of accountants, really out there, really active. And he said to me, I saw that template that you posted on LinkedIn the other day, which is the same as the one you're seeing here on screen. And, I've just forgotten to do that. And when I get back from my holidays, I've tweaked your template because he's got a, pretty unique voice. I've tweaked it a little bit and I send that to all my clients. It doesn't need to be complicated, this stuff. But it's working on the principle that if you don't ask, you don't get. And I find that time and again in businesses, if you don't ask for things, nobody really is going to give you them. And okay, maybe you do get, word of mouth leads come in, but it's amazing what happens when you ask in the right way. And so the email template here is, what I would consider the right way. It's pretty simple. Subject line, would you refer us? And then, it's very, very simple template. People are busy, business owners are busy. So it's about getting to the point and making it easy for them to do so. And what I'm going to do is drop this into the chat. I'm going to share the document that this is in. Right, so the poll isn't showing for you. It could be the amount of windows that Zoom has open. Sometimes I can't see stuff. It says it's sharing it, but yeah, the results were 75% of people don't have a system for referrals, 25% do. Okay, so I'm going to drop into the chat a doc here, and this has got all the email templates that I'm going to be sharing today. So just give me a second and I'm going to share that in there. Okay, so that's a Google Doc. If you don't use Google Docs, you can just save it down as a Word doc and copy these down. So this is just a really simple template that I would send one-to-one. So if I've done a nice piece of work for a client, you could just send it to them afterwards. You want to tweak this to fit your own firm, your own style, that kind of thing. So you could do that through Outlook, you could do that through Gmail or whatever you use for your email, or you could actually maybe schedule this once a quarter. So a bookkeeper I know, his entire marketing strategy was sending an email like this to all of his clients once a quarter. Had a decent client base. Every time he got 3 or 4 new clients, it just kept him going. He was happy with that. And often I think we get, in marketing, we kind of get stuck on the creative, or what, for want of a better word, trying to create like something fantastic. But what actually really works in marketing is habits. So making something a habit and doing it consistently over time is what will get a really good result. So, like I say, you could send that one-on-one after projects. You could send it to all your clients once a quarter, for example. You could ask clients for referrals in client meetings. Luke, the guy I was talking about earlier, who mentioned that he was going to use this, he's going to actually paste this into his zero invoice or version of it into his zero invoice template so that every time a bill goes out, that's in there as well. So it's all these little things are going to add up over time. You could ask your team to do the same thing. So it's all about that kind of numbers game. And persistence pays off as well. You might have to nudge people 2 or 3 times to do this, which is why that repetitive thing can work. I know I'd be happy to recommend a bunch of my suppliers, but I might not do it off the first email. That they might have to nudge me a couple of times. So that's the first simple one that I think is like a very basic system that you can put in place. The next one is what I would call more like niche referrals. So, do you want more ideal clients? Like, of course you do. That's why we call them ideal clients. So I would be looking to ask your best clients to refer more people like them to you. So this template here, which is the second one in that doc that I just shared, is more about, it says industry niche on that one. It could, you might not have a specific industry you work with, but it's more being very specific about the type of business that you want to work with. So that obviously helps you because, you're getting better quality of lead. But it's also really clear about for the person sort of you messaging this to and then the person who they might refer to you. It's really clear about how you can help them. And specific things always work better in marketing. Just saying can generally help someone with their business, their finances, tax, that's kind of what people assume you're going to do. But if you can make it really, really specific, and there's some examples in there of the characteristics that you might put in there, you should overwrite those with the ones of your ideal client. I think that works really well. Because let's say you're trying to get referrals from established businesses. They've probably already got an accountant or bookkeeper they're working with. And what you're actually trying to overcome is that inertia of them thinking, can I be bothered moving? It's a little bit like banks, right? Like, you cannot be bothered doing that, even though you might not be happy. So I think people feel that way. But if you can be really specific about what you can do, I think that can overcome that inertia that some people feel about switching. So there's the template. You've got both of those there. As I say, I wouldn't use those straight out the box. You want to make that fit your style a little bit more. What I'd encourage you not to do is water it down too much. So what I mean by that is add in fluff like hope you're doing well and, like all that kind of stuff. Get to the point, right? Business owners are busy and, making one simple ask is a lot better than sort of like going around the houses a little bit and being unspecific. Okay, so next one I want to have a look at is online reviews. So we see a lot of online reviews all around us. I've just been booking some holiday accommodation. You're obviously looking at all those star reviews. Well, people are doing that with firms like yours right now. So I'm interested to know, do you ask for online reviews? Do you ask clients for online reviews? So I'm going to launch another poll. Just bear with me. Let's ask this one. So same 3 answers, yes, no, or not sure. And then I'm going to talk through, it's actually a payroll firm who's one of our clients, but has really excelled in getting online reviews. Give you a few seconds to answer that one. All right, cool. I'm going to close that off in just a second, and then I will share the results. Okay, end it there, and I'm going to share those. Hopefully everybody can see those. Let me know if you chat if you can't. So it's pretty much 50-50, and I'm pretty pleased by that, to be honest. I thought it would be less people were doing it. So I'm pleased people are, because I think they're quite important now. I think it's really important. So I think I think that works well. Why do I like online reviews? Well, it's kind of like word of mouth at scale, right? We use those sites like TripAdvisor and similar things, like Airbnb, they've all got that kind of user feedback in there. And you look at this site on screen, 237 5-star reviews. So, that's a pretty overwhelming kind of vote for this firm. And prospects are doing research now, right? Like, so even if someone gets referred to you, they're going to do some research, some due diligence. That will be checking out your website, throw you into Google, have a look at the results that come back. Probably, your Facebook page might come up. You'd be surprised how many people might do that. The other part of that is it can help, especially with Google, it can help your SEO, your search ranking. So that will is a reason to do it too. Another one, I think most firms are struggling to find quality people to work as part of their team. Job seekers would look at that too, and if I was looking around and had a choice between a couple of firms to maybe apply for, seeing something like this, 237 5-star reviews, that rightly says something about that firm. But I guess in summary, like, what you're doing is improving your digital footprint. You obviously want a good website, good social media, and having these online reviews. It's just another vote of confidence in your firm that's displayed very publicly. So in terms of getting them, to me, it's the same systems as asking for referrals. It's about, first of all, having a system, making that a habit that you do that, and being persistent. So the guy who owns this firm, Tyler, we talked in depth about his approach to getting reviews, and he told me it's persistence that gets it. That the email, he sends 3 emails, so automated sequence, and it's on the 3rd email that people normally give the review. So I can see a couple of people in the chats, and people, their clients won't give reviews. And I'm definitely not saying they won't, but I think that what people say and what people do, in my experience, can be quite different. And if you can maybe nudge them a little bit, maybe they will. It's about making it easy for them. So what we've done is included in the doc that I shared at the start some email templates for asking for a Google review, like what you can see on screen, and also asking for a Facebook recommendation. And even if you don't use Facebook a lot, it will come up your Facebook business page in searches quite a lot. So having a few positive recommendations on there is definitely worthwhile. So, with the first referral template that I shared, I would probably personally be using that kind of one-to-one. I would be picking and choosing who I sent that to, bulk sending it now and again. But I think with these ones, where you're asking for online reviews, it really suits automation. So you could automate it after jobs, you can automate it with invoices, you could automate it with like dealing with support queries if you use software to do that. And create a system very much like the apps that we use all the time do. We have an interaction with them, and you get that chance to give a review. So that's online reviews. And then the final thing that I want to have a look at today in terms of word of mouth is client case studies. And I want to bring ChatGPT into this because you're not allowed to do a presentation in 2023 without mentioning AI. But it's actually a really good use for it. So before I do that, I'm going to launch a very quick poll, which is, do you have, I think I need to close the other one. Bear with me. So do you have case studies on your website? Like, you might have them somewhere else in your marketing, online or whatever, but yeah, let's say your website. So I'm interested to know who's got those. Real evergreen marketing tactic. But yeah, my experience, a lot of firms don't have them. And I'm going to show you a way that we've been using this for a few years now. Well, part of it we've been using for a few years now. And then but by having ChatGPT or a similar kind of AI writing tool, I think you can make this really, really easy. Okay, cool. I'm going to end that now. Share those results. All right. So 86% of you don't have them on your website. 14% do. I really recommend getting case studies. They're just such a high ROI piece of content that you can have, because you can you can use them right across your marketing and sales. So you can have them on your website, you can chop them up and use them as testimonials, push them onto social media. They really obviously help build that trust and credibility. Reinforce referrals. So, we talked about that before. People come and do their due diligence. If they see some really good case studies and social proof, I think that is really powerful in kind of convincing them that, yeah, they should pick up the phone and book a meeting with you, or have you do that. So the old way to get them was, I guess, to ask a client and get ignored. I've had that many times in the past. People like, will you write a case study for us? And it's like, I'm busy enough. I'm not gonna sit there and like write something. And then, people get around that by fake writing something and getting someone to sign off on that. You can spot those a mile off. It's just not the way to do it. So what we've been doing for the last few years is doing them on Zoom, right? Just recording a Zoom call. Means no preparation needed for the person you're trying to get the case study from. They can just turn up, limited to 10 minutes, if keep it nice and short. They then speak in their natural language. I think that's really important. So it's not that kind of stilted and kind of formal stuff that you see, and there's kind of like fake case studies and testimonials. So you get someone to speak naturally. And often when they start speaking, they'll say some things you don't expect, like good things. We've definitely found that when we do it. Now, where this becomes powerful is that now in Zoom or similar tools, you can obviously record the meeting, and you can get a transcript from it. And that's what can really make this way more efficient. So rather than someone having to write that up, we get the transcript, and then we can feed that to ChatGPT and ask it to do a bunch of things. So what I'm going to show you here is transcript here. So I actually made a fake transcript here. I'm going to copy this and drop it into ChatGPT. What I'm going to do first is, this is the prompt. So I've added this prompt into that doc as well that I'm going to share with you. Just paste this into ChatGPT. Act as a website copywriter. Turn the interview transcript into a website case study. I'll come get this transcript. It's kind of like it come out of Zoom. And you can just paste the thing in with all the, ums and ahs and all the rough stuff like that. And let's see what happens here. So it'll take a little bit of time, but off it goes. It's going to turn this into a case study for us. So my opinion on ChatGPT and AI writing tools, people talk about better, faster, cheaper. I think that it doesn't write better. Like, it doesn't write better than a copywriter, but it's really good at doing things faster and cheaper, right? So like, what's the cost? Nothing. We pay $20 a month for like the premium version, but you don't need that to do this. Faster, it's obviously faster, right, than trying to write up a case study. So, we've got this here. It's okay, right? Like, and you could turn this into, you could quite quickly get this more into the style you'd want it to. The fact is, it now exists. You've got something to edit. I quite like the format it's done it in. It's good that it pulls out the quotes. That's quite clever, and so you've got a case study. So the power then of being able to do like a 10-minute interview with a client, record it, transcript into ChatGPT, maybe there's another 10 to 20 minutes of polishing that up. Super powerful. And then once you've got that, we can keep using ChatGPT to amplify this more, right? So, you post that onto your website. You want to promote it a little bit. Ask ChatGPT to write some social posts for you. So that I think is, having case studies, you can use those from your website, you can use those on social, you can use them in your sales process. They're just such a high leverage thing. Chop them up into little bits and use them as testimonials, and ChatGPT already did that. So I think that's really powerful. And then another use of that is like going back to the start of what we're doing and talking about referrals, using case studies to help seal the deal with referrals. So the final email template that I wrote for you, which is in the doc that I shared at the start, we'll send this in an email afterwards as well, is this one here. So someone gets referred to you, right? You're obviously going to respond back to them. And I wrote this email template to say, thanks to the person who's making the referral, move them to BCC as a courtesy, and then connect with the person who's being referred, and then try and schedule a time, all the usual stuff you do. But add that little PS. Like PSs in emails are really powerful because you can keep your email nice and simple, but have that little PS. People always read the PS, it sticks out a little bit, and link to that case study at the bottom. So, you've got a few case studies and one that's quite relevant to the business that's coming through on the referral. Great thing to do is have that as a PS, and it just starts to do that reinforcement of why they should work with you even before you've talked to them. So that's it. I just wanted to make this super simple, give you 3 things that you could take away and do. I mean, there's a few more templates than that. I think 6 templates in there, and give you some stuff to get going with. But I kind of want to take that one more step, which was skip on here. If you want to write an email template live for you, I'd be happy to do that. I actually love doing that stuff. So if you wanted me to jump on a call with you and create a referral email template, any short email template, I'm happy to do it with you. Let's do it. I've been writing high converting emails for over 20 years. But would love to help you with that. So what we can do, I'll launch it now. If you want me to write an email for you, this is how it'll work. We'll jump on a call. We'll spend most of the time me writing the email for you, and you can ask me anything else you want about marketing, and I'll give you a quick 10-minute demo of how Bizink might be able to help you with your marketing. If you're already a client, happy to jump on and do this with you anyway, so you can have the full 30 minutes. And yeah, I'll take you through whatever you want. Just to give me an email, and I'll write it for you live in the session. So yeah, let me know if you want to do that. I'll just do that poll, won't share the results, and we can do that. So I'm happy to stick around now for some questions. Use the chat or the Q&A to do that. I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. Everybody's saying like your clients are happy to give you really good reviews, but they're just not on social media. You could get them from them like over Zoom or however suggested, and then you post that to social media. So I think maybe they might not do the online reviews for you, but if you can get those, you can turn those into nice social posts. You're just asking, how do you get Google reviews from clients who don't use Gmail? I don't know if they do need Gmail. You might know that more than me. I thought anyone could go on there and do that, but I will check up on that for you. I'm not sure if they need a Google account to do it. I will check up on that for you and let you know. One question we sometimes get asked about the word of mouth, about online reviews, is what happens when you get a bad review. And it's not nice, right? Like, but it happens. So I think there's two ways to answer that. The first one is don't ignore it. So, take a deep breath and try and just answer it in the most kind of diplomatic way you can. Maybe contact them offline and see if they will remove it, because getting them removed by Google is nigh on impossible. So I think number one is just try and resolve it with that person. Maybe they take the review down, or maybe you just answer it, And I think arguing with people looks really bad. You have to kind of take the higher ground. But maybe the better way is it like, if we use the example before of Tyler, who's got 237 5-star reviews, then if he had one-star review in there, it just looks, like that's an anomaly. And so I think generally doing reviews well, it won't matter so much. Has anyone else got any other questions about anything to do with word of mouth marketing, anything to do with referrals? Happy to answer those. I'll close off that poll. Well, what we're going to be doing is sending out a recording. We'll be sending out an email with the doc with all of those email templates in them. And any questions, give me a shout. And if you want to book into that session to have me write an email for you, would love to do it. I genuinely would enjoy that. So jump on and let's do that. But if there's no more questions, thanks for coming along. Tried to keep it nice and short for you, and hopefully some of those strategies are useful for you. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.